Hey, it's Kevin, and I am here in Las Vegas at the LVK Fulfillment Center for the AI and Logistics event brought to you by ShipHero. And I'm going to be joined by, well, I guess the queen of LVK herself, Maggie here, COO, right, at LVK. So, Maggie, tell us a little bit about, the event here and what we're doing in Vegas.
It's an amazing event. It's so fun to get to show the warehouse, the LVK warehouse off.
It's beautiful, I'll
Thank
say,
you.
yes.
Thank you. Yes, we thought the team did a great job in kind of being able to walk through prospects and current ShipHero clients, see all of the great things from direct pack to our new lights with the carts, our smart
Yes, yeah.
carts, all of these really great innovations. They don't always come through on video as well as like seeing them in person. And so getting to go deep with our customers and prospects to say like, hey, here's how we actually use these tools, because you can have a whole bunch of great tools that nobody leverages. So I
Yeah.
think it's really our lab.
Yeah.
So it's been great.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's amazing that you guys have that kind of balance, like the lab aspect, right? Like, because you're building for 3PLs from the software perspective, but then you're actually putting what you preach into practice on your own floor here. And I got a chance to walk around the building yesterday, and it was very well put together, organized. So very impressive from the team of LVK. But talk to us a little bit, because we're here at the AI in Logistics event, right? So this is like all about AI, right? And what's going on. And we've seen some pretty incredible sessions, and I would say like I'm feeling like more and more is possible now after some of the things I've heard this morning. But tell us a little bit about, from LVK's perspective, how are you looking at AI? How are you leveraging AI within the operations or the business as a whole?
It's a great question because I think people can get really stumped with how to get started with AI. And I like, instead of going straight into agentic and creating bots and agents and all those things, I think it's more the idea where we leverage it and get the most bang for our buck is AI tools. Previously, we'd go to the engineers and we'd say, hey, I need this workflow. I wish I had this, this custom report for a customer.
Sure.
And we'd just be waiting on engineering and waiting. And, it was because they needed to work on ShipHero Core, which is completely okay and the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Obviously, it needs to be a multi-tenant solution.
Right.
And now with these AI tools, we're able to spin up apps. Semi-technical teams, our solutions teams, can put together workflows. For example, we're starting a receiving SLA process. We have 7 warehouses. We have over 200 customers. You could have 6, trucks come by in the morning and drop new shipping plans down, all this new inventory. What should that receiving manager accept first? Because people have different SLAs.
Yeah.
So just spinning up a quick app that will show across the 7 warehouses who should be working on what when is something that, as a 3PL, I'm okay to have control over. And now that I have AI tools, leveraging Claude to say like,
Right.
I can spin this app up and not need to worry engineering about it.
Interesting. So kind of like the prioritization of tasks almost, even, right? Because I mean, that's a great point, right? I mean, so many things are coming in as inputs at once, right? But what's the one that matters right now in this moment, and what's one that matters 3 hours from now versus right now? And if I'm just somebody on the floor and I grab the one that's 3 hours, like now all of a sudden the one that's there is out of SLA potentially, and it was there, but I just didn't know that was my priority. So that's a really interesting example there, and I'm curious from like a 3PL perspective too. As you mentioned, you have 200 different customers, right? About. So how are you seeing AI come into play from like the 3PL operations perspective, but then the relationship with those clients and customers? How is it helping to improve that, or helping to maybe attract new customers or retain existing ones?
So I think it's a great question because, again, there's so many places that we could go with AI. And I think one thing that I know as a 3PL, it's that we always hear about the mistakes. And if we could get ahead of those mistakes and using AI and also generating reports at the end of the day to give to our customers does 2 things. It can show any exceptions, anything that is late for any reason. So they're not waiting for their end customer to get upset about it. They can proactively reach out. So I think that knowledge on upfront in real time is so important. And then also to celebrate our wins.
Yeah.
When things go well, we'd like to, send out, hey, we shipped everything. We hit 99.9% of SLA. We hit 100% of SLA. Like, rarely do 3PLs get to celebrate and give the high five to each other. So getting to be proactive in setting those reports, and that's all through AI tools, where before, again, we used to wait on engineers. I mean, I'm a recovering lawyer, I like to say. And like, the thing is, Kevin, people used to say lawyers kill deals. Well, a lot of engineers would kill features because it would take too long. Like, that's what's so beautiful about this, is that we can really give the customer more knowledge 24/7, and also celebrate our wins to show like, hey, these are the things that are going really well. And it's been super helpful with our customers and creates more of a dialogue so that our CSMs are armed with data when they go to have those discussions.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point to get better visibility just into these things, right? And not wait for, like you said, engineering to do this. And no offense to engineering.
Love engineering.
Yeah, but sometimes we need things quickly, right?
Yep.
And so when you look at that, I mean, what do you see now that maybe didn't seem possible in the past, but now that we have all these different AI tools and you've experimented with some, your team has experimented with some and implemented some into the operations. What is now possible that maybe a few years ago you're like, oh, this is really, really hard, can't make it happen, and now it's something that we're doing it.
Well, there's so many different possibilities with AI.
Yeah.
And I think the idea of when you get a very large organization, you can get siloed and you don't know what other people are doing, or you actually don't listen to the people on the floor who are dealing with the product. And I think having these AI tools where everyone is encouraged in the organization to leverage these tools and that be made available. So I think in the past, I'd think, oh, it's just the product team, or it's just the customer facing people, or it's just the ops people. Everyone. It kind of has democratized what is important when it comes to what we're going to prioritize when it comes to product reports and workflows. And I think it's really cool that everyone in the organization can participate, where I think before people would be like, oh, it's management, it's top down. It should only be this. It should only be, can we make money on this? Can we do that? It's like, no, let's create a better experience. Let's bring more stakeholders to the table because we have that time to actually think, how can we get better? Where in the past we were just working so hard to get orders out and, duct taping things together.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's really interesting to see, and I think, you nailed it there, where so much more is possible now, right, with these tools. But now if we look at from an operations perspective, right, how do you look at leveraging these tools and finding the balance between like the AI tool and the human labor tool? How do you find the balance there, and what's your take on that?
Well, I think my take is what's great is with AI tools, it's a very low cost to run tests.
Okay.
And so if someone has an idea, we can spin up this receiving app, based on our SLAs. And if all of a sudden we're like, wait, this actually isn't working, we can iterate quickly. We didn't take 3 months to scope it, 6 months to develop it, and hundreds of thousands of dollars in engineering time.
Right.
So making these quick iterative tests, that's where I think it unlocks. And we can say, hey, you know what? We need human intervention here. And humans are going to still deal with the exceptions. It's creating those guidelines, those guardrails on when something bad happens, a person needs to intervene and take a look at it. So I think there's twofold. One, we can iterate more quickly, see where human intervention is more important or like necessary. Sometimes you just have to get on a phone with the customer if something goes wrong. And I'm very much a proponent of that. And then also the idea of setting out those guardrails. What can't go wrong? Like, we can't stop shipping. So if I'm not going to spin up a small tool that might help us ship 1 second faster, but has a high probability of failure, that's where it comes to guardrails. Like, what are you willing to let break in that moment? That can be easily fixed. It's not a one-way door.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a great point. Like, it's kind of the balance and the trade-off there of like, okay, this is something that Yeah, maybe like I gain 1 second, as you said, but there's also like a high risk that it will just break in the process and I will lose like minutes or hours potentially, right? Which we don't want to happen, obviously, when we're shipping. So I guess to close out our conversation here, why don't you share like your one piece of advice for people that are just getting started trying to figure out how to fit AI into their 3PL operations?
I think the first thing I'd look at is what's in a spreadsheet right now that you've made
Okay.
and that you haven't looked at, or you forget that you have. You're like, where is that Google Doc that I had? That's usually the easiest thing that you can put into a workflow that will then be used more efficiently. So I looked at anything that's stuck in spreadsheets that is not, it hasn't been leveraged as it should, is a good place to find an app and then just to try it. So look for something that's in a spreadsheet and then start to build something. I think hands-on learning and, like I said, the laboratory
Yeah.
is the best way to iterate on something. The longer you hold back, the harder it's going to feel to get started. And so I'd say just find a spreadsheet, make something simple.
Yeah.
Do it for one warehouse. Like the Receiving SLA app, we're not rolling it out in 7 warehouses right away. We're going to test it in one,
Sure.
figure out the kinks, and then roll it out.
Yeah.
So I think that's where I'd say how to get started.
All right, great advice. So just start, right? Basically,
start.
find something
Find a
that
spreadsheet.
drives you crazy and just try and fix it, right?
Exactly.
So great advice from you, Maggie, and really appreciate you sitting down here with me in your house in the LVK, Las Vegas here. So if you ever get a chance to come out here and see the building, highly recommended. Very beautiful, very clean, well run, and a model 3PL, I will say. So appreciate the time and thanks for having a conversation with us.
Thanks for coming.
Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning into today's video here on our YouTube channel, The New Warehouse Podcast, and I appreciate you tuning in. If you liked what you saw, make sure you subscribe to our channel, and if you like this video in particular, make sure you like it as well. And if you want to get this great t-shirt that you see in the video behind me, Warehouses Are Sexy, head to warehousesAreSexy.com and get your own.